Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review Uncharted. And this is a video game adaptation film based off of the franchise Uncharted, which I've probably spent very, very minimal time actually playing. I know the basic idea of like treasure hunter, and it's an adventure game. I've seen just kind of like analyses of like the games of like maybe it's a little bit too much like shoot 'em up kind of thing, but there's a lot of like puzzles and stuff like that as well. And people have compared to like modern Indiana Jones and stuff like that, even though it's not a treasure hunter, he's an archaeologist, but I guess that's the big difference. But you have this film, and director Ruben Fleischer really described it as like a prequel to the games. So you have a young Nathan Drake and his first connections with Sully, who is his mentor, and Fleischer, who's done films like, Zombieland and things like that, and the first Venom film, I think does a fine job of creating the tone for the film. I think it hits exactly what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be like a kind of fun and exhilarating like treasure hunt. So the film feels that way. How everybody fits into it, that might be a different story. But you have two huge set pieces which they really just beat you over the head with one of them in the marketing campaign. You've seen it so many times that it's just like I'm not even excited about this, and this should be exhilarating. And I watched this in a AMC Prime theater, actually. And it was pretty cool. It made it a bit different. It made it feel a little bit fresher after seeing it 50 million times in the trailers. And then the latest trailer gave away another one, which I wish they did not, because that set piece at the end of the film is really cool and inventive and exciting, and they do a lot of cool things with it. So, there's action set pieces that are fun and exciting. That's what you're hoping for, right? And you have, narratively, it's pretty bland. There's nothing really particularly interesting or different that they do in this. It's smart mouth young man, smart mouth mentor, trying to take on big rich dude who they want to steal treasure. And that's the movie. And you have some other characters thrown in along the way. And there's some heart to it because you have Nathan Drake. Nate's trying to get over his brother's missing, and he's trying to build this connection with Sully, and it's that kind of dynamic adds some layers to the film. Not a lot of layers. I'm not saying that this is an enriched story with plenty of deep emotional connections. It's not. It has its moments. And you have Tom Holland, who's really playing the same kind of thing that Tom Holland keeps playing. I watch this movie, I'm just I can't be that's Nathan Drake. That's a very specific kind of character. No, he is sharp, quick talking adventurer kind of character, and that's about it. And Tom Holland, is charming enough. Mark Wahlberg is just doing what Mark Wahlberg does. And between the two of them, there's some moments where I got a chuckle out of it, and they say shit a lot. I can say that at least. They say shit a lot in this movie, and it's just the two of them going back and forth, and neither of these characters are particularly interesting or dynamic or different in any way. It just, what if you got Tom Holland and Mark Wahlberg to hang out on screen together? Then you have Antonio Banderas, who is amazing. I love him, and he's barely in it. And, he's just doing evil Antonio Banderas character, which is such a waste. There's not a whole lot of charisma there. Sophia Ali's, I think she's really charismatic as Chloe Fraser, and I think she's fun. I enjoyed her. She brings a different kind of energy to the film that I think sorely needed. And you even have Tati Gabrielle from Sabrina, Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, and she's the heavy on Antonio Banderas' team. And I think she has a great look. She has a great physicality, but they don't give her a whole lot to do. And, like, some of the dialogue, like, you're at the climax, and you're going to verbally spar with some of these characters, and you're just like, it's like, say hi to your brother for me. You say hi first. And it's just like, that's the best you can do. It's the best you could have come up with. And that's the kind of thing, like, this movie, it's not particularly well written. It's fun. It's exhilarating at times, but it's pretty bland and forgettable. There's definitely, besides like the big action set pieces, I don't know how much you're going to remember of this. There are some nods to the game, and you can really tell it's like, oh my god, he's getting his gun holster. And there's like a moment where it's just like, gunpowder. Like he says to himself in his head, and it's just like, I'm assuming that's right out of the game, because that seems like a really weird thing to just like tack on there. So like, they do feel a little tacked on and kind of alluding to certain things. I just feel like this film lacks identity. Like, you could have named this anything. You could have named this Treasure Hunt or Magellan's Treasure, and I would never have been like, this is an Uncharted game, isn't it? And it just doesn't have that kind of spirit. Like, there's nothing about this movie that feels like it's like, this is something special. This is a very specific thing that I'm creating here and adapting here. And it's just fine. And it has some setup for, you know, the next movie. We'll see how it does. But this has been development hell for decade. So I'm very interested to see where this goes. Because, like, Mark Wahlberg was supposed to play Nathan Drake at some point. And everybody wanted Nathan Fillion to be Nathan Drake. That's not what we got. We got Tom Holland. And Tom Holland is literally in everything, and maybe could be in a little less things. So, if you just want some fun, turn your brain off kind of hour and 55 minutes of your life this weekend, go check this one out. But those are my thoughts on Uncharted. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.